My name is Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor. Welcome to my YouTube station. It's the home of the 5-minute or less video. I don't like to talk any more than 5 minutes, so that's all you got me for. I'm a national expert in IRS resolution. I worked at IRS over a decade. I've been private practice for four decades, so yes, I've been doing this for 50 years. I've been on every major news station that you can think of. Matter of fact, whatever today's date is, I just did one at 2 o'clock Eastern time today. Anyway, I am, like I said, a national expert as a former IRS agent. I used to abate penalties and interest. I have a wonderful section on my website at 777irs.com. That's 777irs.com. You can look at that. I have a very intensive and well-written penalty abatement section on which you should follow. But having abated penalties and interest, I can't tell you how many penalties and interest I abated at IRS. I don't know how many I looked at in the thousands, how many I accepted. Maybe 1%, maybe 1%. And there's many reasons for that, but I want to tell you the biggest reason that penalties and interest are not abated. And I want to give this information. We have a lot of do-it-yourselfers on YouTube. Our firm has excellent penalty abatements. I mean, we've got some massive penalty abatements, but we don't take them unless I know you're really qualified. There's a lot of people want to get their penalties abatement like there's this big magic wand that, yeah, because you worked at IRS, you know them. No, you have to really qualify for them. I'll bet you this year we've got thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars abated on penalties and interest. But like I said, those were people that qualified for it after we looked at the fact pattern. So if you want us, we're available for representation. If you're going to do it yourself, I want you to know this, and this is why I'm making this video, because a lot of people on YouTube want to do it yourself. You have to document the case. When I'd get these letters, they were self-serving and maybe a quarter a page or a half a page or 4 or 5 paragraphs, and they wanted these big penalties abated, and that doesn't work with IRS. You have to write a really solid letter or affidavit where the IRS agent is going to just understand it. And I've said this in a few other videos. If you're not a good letter writer, write the basic content out and have somebody else write the letter. Don't do it yourself. You really want to write a nice methodical letter with everything spelled out that you can, so the agent can picture himself in your situation. You must add color to this letter. It's just not a really wrote, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. You don't want to do that. You really need to add color. So I really believe your story. I'm getting into your story. That's what this letter needs to look like. If you're not going to do that, don't write the letter. Pay someone to write it. But this is what you need to know. You need to know this, okay? You must document the case. You can't just write the letter without exhibits, documentations, and third-party confirmations and affidavits. I'm going to give you an example. I had a case where a doctor had broke his hand, and we wanted to get a penalty abated from IRS. Well, we wrote a beautiful letter out. Obviously, we know how to write them. We're really good at it. But you want to know what I did to get the penalty abated is I went ahead and I attached the x-rays and a medical report, and I showed why he couldn't write, he couldn't work, and therefore he couldn't even pull up records because his hand was broken so bad during filing season, and we got those letters abated. For instance, he had a hurricane. You want to show pictures. Showing pictures are good. Getting letters from neighbors, getting letters from doctors, from attorneys, from CPAs, anyone who knows your case. You want to write your letter and say, yes, here's fact 1, here's who can back me up. Here's fact 2, this person can back me up. Here's fact 3, here's a picture. You want to lay this out brilliantly and beautifully, and those are the letters that will go through to IRS. Take your time, show it to someone else who has a different skill level than you at better. See what they think of the letter. Remember, colorize your letter, add documentation to the letter. Chances are, if it fits the fact pattern correctly, what IRS is going to look for, you're going to go ahead and abate it. This information was helpful. Please give me a subscription. We need those. That's how YouTube values you, subscriptions. If you don't get any, they don't really value you. As a former agent, I tell you really what you need to know. If you want me to do a video on something, leave a comment. I'm really happy to go ahead and do a YouTube on something that you suggest that's a really good idea. You're welcome to give me a like, give me a comment. Subscription is helpful. Tell me what my next YouTube is. Hit me up. You can look in the description section and find out how to get a hold of me. We are available for any IRS tax problem and matter. Thank you. Me and my M&M man give you a thumbs up.